Welcome back to PJ Sports Talk. To be on the show, dial 1-866-826-1340 or toll free 727-441-3000. Once again, here's PJ and Big Deal Dylan.
And we are back on PJ Sports Talk. I'm here with Big Deal Dylan. And we're going to be talking with Ronnie Night Train Lane. How are you doing today?
Doing great, PJ. How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
Good, and thank you. And you are the host of Prime Time on 10:40 a.m. ESPN Radio, right?
Tampa Bay's ESPN. You got it, bro.
And also, I went to the Berkeley Prep game last night versus Tampa Catholic for the district championship game. The winner of that would go forward to the district championship game, and Berkeley won that. And one of the stars there was Nelson Aguilar, and you have a little background on him.
Yeah, Nelson is a very fine athlete. He is being recruited by all the major colleges all across the country. I know that Charlie Weiss was down in one of his games, the offensive coordinator at the University of Florida not too long ago. But it's not just Florida. It's everybody wants this kid. Jimbo Fisher at FSU wants him really bad. The whole nation. The kid's an incredible talent. He's an intelligent kid, and I think he can go wherever he wants to go.
And also, Nelson, the game that Charlie Weiss went to, I was actually at that game versus Clearwater Central Catholic, and it was they beat them 28-0, and again they beat Tampa Catholic in 28-0, so they're going to go on to the district finals. So, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, how did Nelson do last night against Tampa Catholic?
He did very, very well. He got 309 rushing yards for the day.
Awesome, because, see, on my radio show yesterday on ESPN, I said over or under 150 yards rushing, and he got way over, obviously. If you said he got 300, that's great.
And he's just a great wide receiver, or not wide receiver. He's a great athlete. He can play any position. He can play wide receiver, safety, running back, anything you want him.
Yeah, he's a true talent, a tremendous talent, and like I said, I think he can pretty much write his ticket to whatever major Division I school he wants to go to.
And I heard that he likes Notre Dame.
He does like the Fighting Irish, and they're very high on him, as are all the schools that are recruiting this young man, which is just about every major school in the country. So, like I said, he's going to have the pick of the litter. Can you imagine being recruited by all these fine Division I schools?
What do you think about the LSU versus Alabama?
Oh, huge game. Huge game tonight in Tuscaloosa at Bryant-Denny. Both defenses are incredibly talented. There are a lot of NFL-ready players on both sides of the ball on both teams. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle. And I'm leaning toward Alabama simply because they're at home at Tuscaloosa, but I really do like their defense. Just a little bit. I'm splitting hairs here. Just a little bit better than LSU's.
And also, going back to Nelson Aguilar, I think that the best way for him to basically get professional is to go to the SEC.
How did you start out with your job?
I would agree. If you want to play on the professional level, I think the SEC is the best place to play at one of those schools in the Southeastern Conference.
How did you start out with your job?
Wow. It's been many moons ago, PJ. I was actually a high school teacher noticed me in the hall. I was a baseball player in high school, and she heard me talking to another student. She said, "You have a very nice voice. You ever thought about taking a speech class?" And I went, "No." She goes, "Well, I teach a speech and drama class, and I'd like for you to put that down as one of your senior electives, and if you don't like it, you can drop it." Of course, I took it, and the rest is history, man. I've got that radio bug, and it's stayed with me the rest of my life.
Do you have any advice for us?
My advice is to find something you like to do and get someone to pay you to do it, or own your own business.
All about the money.
What's that?
It's not all about the money, but it's also about passion. Although it's also some of the money you gotta.
Well, yeah, you want money, money enhances life, but you're right, it's about passion, doing something you love to do and having the passion for it. That makes it a lot easier. It's not work if you can do that.
Yeah. And and even if some people say that you are at work, sometimes you can say, no, I'm not at work. I'm having fun.
Exactly. So you got it already, man. You got it made, PJ. You're well on your way.
And what about the Bucks?
Well, the Bucks have a tall task ahead of them on Sunday. The New Orleans Saints are not in a great mood after being surprised by the St. Louis Rams last week in St. Louis. And, of course, they are the division foe of the Bucks, and to lose twice to the Bucks in the same year would not be good for the New Orleans Saints. So they need to win this game, more so than the Bucks. But I think the Bucks are going to play a great game. A lot of people have the Bucks losing by 2 touchdowns or more. I think it's going to be a closer game than most are thinking. I'm not sure the Bucks are going to be able to pull it out. New Orleans is very tough at the Superdome. They're averaging 44 points per game at home at the Superdome.
Why do people call you the Night Train?
Well, that's a good question. There is an old Hall of Fame defensive back named Dick Night Train Lane, which is where my name originated from when I first came to Tampa. I was spinning records. You probably don't know what those are, but I was playing music at night and working with the Buccaneers, so they thought I needed a moniker that sort of married football and radio together as far as the DJ is concerned. So they came up with Night Train Lane. So I'm Ronnie Night Train Lane in honor of the great Hall of Famer Dick Night Train Lane, who was one of the first big defensive backs in the National Football League in the 50s and 60s.
And also, going back to how did you start with the ESPN radio thing? What do you have any idols?
I am the broadcasting business. My idol is the late great Jack Buck, the Hall of Fame Cardinals play-by-play man for the St. Louis Baseball Cardinals. And also a big fan of Bob Costas, who is now with MLB Network.
And actually, Bob Costas is actually one of my idols.
Yeah, he's very smooth. He's from St. Louis, and I grew up not too far from St. Louis. That's why I grew up a Cardinals fan, because I grew up listening to radio, listening to Cardinals baseball on legendary KMOX out of St. Louis.
What's your favorite sport?
Baseball.
What's your favorite sport to talk about?
Baseball.
What's your favorite team?
My favorite team now is Tampa Bay Rays, but my second favorite team is the St. Louis Cardinals.
And what do you think about the win for the World Series that the Cardinals got?
An incredible run, considering that they were down 10.5 games on August 25th, and they sneak into the playoffs on the last day, the same day the Rays made it into the playoffs. So you can imagine what kind of a rush that was for me on that day, September the 28th, when both of my teams make it to the playoffs on the final day of the season. And, of course, the Cardinals took it one step further, and they go ahead through the playoffs, knock off the best team in the National League, the Philadelphia Phillies, and then knock off the second-best team, the Milwaukee Brewers, on their way to beating the American League champion Texas Rangers. What a run.
And also, what do you think that the Packers could repeat and go to the Super Bowl?
Most definitely. They have a great chance of doing that. They're undefeated. Better watch out tomorrow, though, because they're at San Diego, and San Diego is coming off an embarrassing loss. San Diego has not played its best football yet, and they know how good the Packers are, so they'll be ready for this game. And the Packers, the only Achilles heel they have is their defense is not consistent. They can be scored upon, but Aaron Rodgers is just out of this world good. I don't even know how to tell you how good he is. He's unbelievable.
And thank you for being with us on the show. How can we connect with you?
How can you connect with me?
Like, how can we get in touch with you?
Oh, you can find me at ESPNFlorida.com. That's the easiest way to reach me. And you can find me on Twitter at Night Train Lane, Night Train Lane, and the number 2.
Go Rays. Thanks. And don't forget to like us on our Facebook page, Dylan Pashoyan and
PJ Sports Talk.
Will do. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
bye.
And we will be right back on PJ Sports Talk on the Tan Talk Radio Network.
It doesn't matter, la, 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 oh well, la, la, la. We're going at it tonight, tonight. There's a party on the rooftop, top of the world tonight, tonight. And we're dancing on the edge of the Hollywood sign. I don't know if I'll make it, but watch how good I'll fake it.